want to be more like a teenager.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's it. Like, do you ever feel like you want to be more like a teenager, your teenage self again?
I love this conversation. Yes. I say this literally all the time.
Hi, I'm your ex-cousin's ex-best friend, cousin's girlfriend, Phoebe.
And I'm Jacques,
And welcome to Do You Ever Feel Like?
where we ask the questions that everyone's thinking and no one's answering.
I did just finish reading City of Likes in about a 72-hour period, which is not the way to digest that book.
Oh my God. I know, right? Okay, wait. I can't believe you just dumped that on me. You're a brilliant genius, and I'm just telling you that right now that I love you so much.
Why?
And that,
What'd
like,
I do?
because you just, I don't know if you remember, but the birthday, when I posted on for your birthday last year, and I was like, Phoebe knows when. Like, you know when. Like, you didn't tell me that you were reading City of Likes. You didn't tell me that you finished reading City of Likes. You didn't tell me anything about City of Likes. You waited until we started the pod so we could talk about City of Likes.
Yeah.
Because you know about...
Well, I know what the magic is.
You have the gift of magic of timing. You have the gift of yes. Like, you know when. Which I think is like... I think that's like a serious gift.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like,
I
you know...
I think I'm a chaos gremlin is what it is.
No, actually, it's not. It's not chaos at all. It's actually the exact opposite.
Oh,
and
okay. Well,
I will not let you believe anything else otherwise.
Thank you. Thank you.
I actually think, ooh, we're hydrated ladies.
I know, I love your big water bottle. That's not new.
Mm-mm.
I love that. I need a huge water bottle.
Yeah.
I need a huge water bottle.
Have you seen these like trendy ones?
The Stanley Cups. Do you know the chaos that ensued for Canadian mothers trying to buy a Stanley Cup?
Wait, what?
The Stanley Cup is a Canadian hockey trophy. It's like the big, I think it's Canadian. I mean, it sounds like it must be.
Oh, I didn't put that together at all. That's so funny.
And children were waking up on Christmas morning with like Stanley Cup paraphernalia.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God,
I asked their moms
so
for
funny.
Stanley Cups.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I had no idea.
Isn't that funny? I know, but they just make me think of I don't know, like the vibes of those are weird to me.
Oh no, it's.
Although I'm saying that, and my water cup says I am very busy on it, and that makes me want to fucking die. So, who am I to?
I know, right? Last week, Phoebe and I discovered that we have the same product in a different form.
This is so
funny. This I am very busy nonsense. Wait. Okay, because you know Adele had one in that video I sent you that you
she
don't
had a
want to
Stanley
watch.
Cup. I'm just not watching James Corden. That man is cursed.
Yes. Had no idea they were besties. Did you? No idea. They're like best friends. Like one of the songs that Adele wrote in her album apparently was inspired by where James was in his life. It all comes out in that video. I had no idea.
Don't tell me this. Get away from my queen. Get away.
Okay, maybe I have the gift of timing as well because I was going to respond this morning and then I didn't.
Oh my God, no.
I know, I had no idea.
Stay away from him. You know, he is one of my... It's funny. It's whatever. We don't need to talk about James Corden, but it's so... He's like...
Whatever.
Late. There's like... What is it about the late night host?
I don't know.
Sheen that's just so sticky and like gnarly and bad vibes.
Like if James Corden like ran, I don't know, an organization, I would be all about him. You put him in a late night situation and I'm like, Yeah, you're right. It becomes
You know
like
what
something happens.
You know what I think it is? I think it's bullying is not funny to me. Like people being mean to somebody, even when my friends do it to me, like I don't like it. Like it's not like a funny, entertaining, or like when I see friends doing it to each other. And that seems to be like the language of late night in a way. That's like this like funny bullying. So maybe that's what I mean. I also know people don't like him, but that's my hot take. Although it is unfortunate because I do really think Gavin and Stacey, his show is very, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you watch the Amber? Sorry,
do I watch the what?
We're taking it. We're taking places. Do you watch the Amber Ruffin show?
No, who's that?
So Amber Ruffin is a comedian that has a show on, I think it's like NBC or Peacock. And Amber Ruffin used to write for one of these white men in their late night shows, Seth Meyers, maybe. And I find, as far as like, because I hear you with late night, there's like, I don't know what it is. I don't understand. Like, what are we doing?
Well, it's a machine, right? It's like it's a machine to sell stuff. It's a capitalism machine.
And it's weird because like I mean, obviously Ellen, like we don't even have to go there, but like there's something about a daytime show that I'm really for. Something about a nighttime show like that I'm like, I don't really understand. I don't know what that is. But Amber Ruffin does it in a very interesting, not gross way.
I have never seen or heard of this woman before. Sounds very interesting. I mean, that's very true. Like, I love Drew Barrymore, and when the Drew Barrymore show came out, I went, I don't know, girl. Really weird. It kind of flopped, and then it really didn't. Like, she's really found her thing. Like, she seems to have really found her thing, and I'm happy for her.
Maybe there's a renaissance happening. Okay, what we're basically saying is that women bring the nuance. Women bring the renaissance.
What am I not interested in is a man in a suit talking. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Jacqueline and I found this. My friend Gabrielle posted on her Instagram stories the other day this rest quiz. And I was like, oh, very interesting. We'll put it in the show notes because I can't find the link all of a sudden. So I sent Jacqueline this rest quiz by Sandra Dalton Smith, who wrote Sacred Rest, Recover Your Life, Renew Your Energy, Restore Your Sanity. And I sent Jacqueline this quiz because I was like, oh, this is really interesting. My friend Gabrielle was talking about it. And I was like, oh, do this. And I sent it to you and then picked up my phone to start doing it. And about by the fifth question, I got annoyed at it and walked away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I like, okay, I needed to be in a time and a place, did the test. It is very interesting because we talk a lot about rest, I feel like, as a people's at the moment. You know, it's definitely part of it's been a hot topic for like the last 3 years, I feel. But I do think it's really interesting the way that they've broken it down into, they have like physical rest, mental rest, spiritual rest, emotional, social, and sensory. And I feel like that is really interesting because I feel like that actually gives you some information to like kind of go off of instead of just being like, I'm fucking exhausted. Do I need to sleep more? Or like, what is resting? Which is, go listen to our episode with Flory.
Yep.
To
Go
talk
back.
about resting. But I thought it was so funny that I was like, oh, and so the way they score it is like, you know, you might be getting adequate rest. According to this quiz, I'm getting no adequate rest.
Yeah.
But I was really close. And then you're getting adequate rest in this area. You're experiencing rest in this area, but would thrive with more. And then you are feeling the effects of your lack of rest and need a change. And I think, what's that? 26. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Never mind. 6 of the available 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no. No, that's not right. 5 out of the 7. Yes, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I need to be resting more. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing though to start thinking about, because it's like one of the things that was like scored was like physical rest, and it's like, but what if you're a crazy bitch that loves to run around town?
Mm-hmm.
So like I definitely know I am like tired from my activities, but there is part of me that like just enjoys that feeling at the same time. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't surprised by mine. I like thought I was gonna get what I got.
Yeah. I guess
Which
that's
was interesting.
I guess that's maybe part of it. It's like not fun to have that reflected back at you.
Right.
But my spiritual rest is good enough, almost.
Yeah, you're spiritual and you're social, which I totally see for you. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like,
you.
that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
I do.
Yeah, I would love to know how you get mentally rested. Do you know not everyone has thoughts all of the time?
No, I don't know that.
Some people don't have thoughts all of the time, or
Yeah.
a million thoughts. Some people just have one thought at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not me. Anyway, anything else?
Go
you
take
want to
this
chat
quiz.
about?
We'll put
Yeah,
it
go
in
take the quiz. It's very interesting.
notes. It is really interesting. Like obviously, my two highest were emotional rest and sensory rest. Like you're not getting enough rest in these areas, and it's having a negative effect on your life. Or no. It's having effect. You're not getting enough rest in these areas, and you need to change it. Emotional rest and sensory rest, which makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, go
I don't know.
us.
I think it's like kind of like wild that I don't know, like that this is even a tool. Doesn't that say so much?
Well, but that's what I mean when I think like when people are talking about it, I'm just kind of like, oh, that's fun for you, I guess. Like,
right.
It's nice that you're resting. Like, what does that even mean? And like I was saying to you as well, like I'm also somebody who, fuck, I know this is like a thing. I'm dealing with like some health stuff right now, and I'm like trying to get on top of it. Yeah, we both are like just trying to take care of ourselves right now. And it's so hard when you're somebody with pain, and I don't know. I've been on a real journey with it, and I think like even just coming to terms that I am somebody that lives with chronic pain was like a real whole thing that I went on a couple of years ago. Like, oh yeah, like there are just some, again, like, oh, I didn't know people don't have to take Tylenols all the time every single day. Like that's not, I don't want to say it's not normal, but like it's not. I think I've said this before. One of my, like, you're allowed to feel good. When my naturopath, Dr. Emily Bennett, had said, she's like, you're allowed to like feel good in your body. And like, I don't think I really give myself that permission in the past. Even just like taking a Tylenol is a whole thing. But to have that reflected back and be like, yeah, you actually are tired. Your body is tired right now. It's not just, it actually isn't normal. Whatever normal is, to be exhausted all of the time. Like you were allowed to feel good. So that was nice, I guess.
Yeah. I think we need these reminders for sure. And it is nice to like get down to what it is, but it also like freaks me out that this is even like a part of the conversation in some ways, right?
Well,
like,
it's like a direct symptom of all the stuff, right?
Right. Exactly.
Anyway.
Wait, hold on. Pause. City of Likes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You
Skip back around. 15 minutes ago.
Hey, that's what this is, man. Yeah, I read that, and as I was reading it, because you had mentioned it to me, and I've been waiting on a bunch of library books, so I was like, I'm just gonna I was like, this, I can get this right now kind of thing. I got a Kobo, and I am literally loving my life so much because it connects to the library app. So I'm lying in bed at night and I just zoop, 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 get phones. I can get it on my phone and then it just sends to my Kobo right away. It's amazing.
Ooh, love it.
So I downloaded it and I started reading. I was like, this would be a nice little light, fluffy read.
I know, right? Wait, I feel like, were we talking about Jenny Mullen last time? I don't know when that happened.
No, I think we were just talking about it a bit ago. You and I.
Jenny Mullen is an interesting human. And that book is, wow.
It's a book about, for anyone that hasn't read it yet, it's a book about, and I was kind of surprised I hadn't really heard much chatter about it. Like, it seems like it should be a bigger book than it is.
I think it's going to be made into a show, and that I think is going to be, because when I was reading it, I was like, oh, this is a television
That's
series.
What I
This
thought,
is a script.
Too. Well, she's an actress, right?
Yeah, she probably pitched it as a script and it became a book or something. Like, there has to have been, maybe not pitched as a script, but like there had to have been scripty stuff in the beginning, because it's a show, 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm just looking for the synopsis here.
It's a book about a writer who moves to New York and falls into the like elite New York mommy blogger, mommy influencer scene. And it's I don't know, it's kind of like a rompy book. That's like the only way to kind of describe it, right?
Yeah. I was trying to think of what it reminded me of. Like other stuff I've read that it reminded me of, and I definitely really couldn't think of anything. But it really made me, obviously it like deals with like a lot of like intense weird capitalism shit, and I was like, okay, like that's part of it, but it was just getting so fucking crazy at one point where I was like, this is putting me in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And it was also, again, all of the shit that like I know happens in the world, but then I don't know, to like, obviously it's a work of fiction, but you know, it's a work of fiction,
whatever,
by but somebody who has you know, approximation and like context to these things, you know. And so I think that was maybe part of it. I don't know, I can't even actually really talk about, it's hard to talk about without, I don't want to ruin anything either, so I just finished reading it, is what I'll say, and I read it in a very short amount of time.
I read it in a really short amount of time. It is breezy. I think you can read it pretty quickly, but like, yeah, that's not true. I shouldn't say that. I was able to read it quickly. Not that matters.
I was able to read it quickly, and I have, you know me, I get a headache when I start reading in 2 seconds.
So I don't know, and Jenny's doing something with it, and I think it's really funny. And I think that Jenny being an Instagram mom celebrity in it is really interesting. Like I guess
it was maybe part of it. Like there's like kind of an interesting friction in that, like and I'm sure I think it's funny. I mean, this is just like my kind of thought about celebrities all the time when we talk about them. They're like, when people are like, oh, I don't know, when a celebrity does or says something stupid and weird, and we were like, oh, fucking rich idiot, like whatever. And I just think like, these aren't even, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Like, these are not the people that we should be having big problems with. And so I think that's maybe what's kind of interesting, is it's like this like tension of wealth in a way that I don't even know what else I have to say, but there's tension. There's tension in a lot of ways, and I think that's what makes it an interesting read as well.
It's like that's what I think yes, exactly. It's like celebrities, they're just like us in a way that like we don't want to admit. Yeah, like, and I think what I really, really loved about that book was the main characters like could be something that she's not.
Yeah.
Like she could have been this like extreme feminist heroine, right? She could have been, but like she wasn't. there's like complicated things with like her husband and like there's dynamics that like it just, I don't know. It's like surface fluff fun, but then also not.
Yeah.
It's so that's there. Exactly. There's like tension and friction everywhere. Yeah.
So that's why it makes me feel weird when brands reach out to me and ask me to send me a code. I'm like, you could pay me and then I'll talk about your stuff.
I know.
So anyone that wants to sponsor the pod.
I know it is weird.
Yeah. It's really weird. I don't I don't know. I was talking about just before we started recording, I was saying like I don't know. It's been like I've had to like make that decision and I don't know. I don't even know what the right answer is. And I certainly don't shit on anyone who's, you know, collecting their bag in any kind of way. You know, I think that's also part of it as well. It's like we all have bills to pay, man. Like I've been thinking about the like $10K a month like business freaks on Instagram. And I say freaks in a loving way. Because I think in my mind I want to go like, oh, you're just a fucking asshole. But you know, like I see, you know, I know we all got to pay rent. The cost of eggs, man, like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to the vet a million times the last 11 weeks. Like I get it, you know? So I think that's I do have compassion for everybody in this like capitalism hellscape that we're in, where we have to take fucking rest quizzes to see how un-okay we are.
Yep. Full circle. I also find it really interesting, like, I don't know, like brand deals. We could like go on and on and on about this, but I like just
Jenny, come on the pod and come talk about influencers with us. Or
please.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that landscape more because I do find it very interesting.
And or your newest Substack venture because hello, so good. I don't know if you subscribed, but anyways, wait, brands. Like here's the thing too. It's like I think there's so much happening. But like just because someone is posting shit on their Instagram literally means it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
And I think that we have to like,
I
think we have to like remember that as business owners, as creative entrepreneurs, as people using social media, like what's the responsibility of that? I think like we have to remember like that as consumers when we're watching ads and marketing, like whether or not someone is like posting about a product and calling it an ad has absolutely nothing to do with like the success of their business.
Yeah.
And I think we, because it's working, right? Because what it's meant to be is working, we attach those two things. And it's like, no. Separate.
Yeah.
Separate. And that's what that book does, I think, really beautifully.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's so funny. I've started research for an upcoming episode. But I'll leave this for you right here. But it's funny. I was like, oh, we should do an episode about this. And I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm looking at my notes. I have research notes for another time. But kind of about like the idea of like the death of the influencer in a way. And there was this really interesting, I think it is a New York Times article based on I'm pulling it up, I believe. Yeah. About is there life after influencing? And it's about this influencer, Lee Tilgman, who left and like went to like back to corporate America or whatever. And I think we like hear the story in the inverse a lot. And she was just, it's a really interesting read. Go check it out. But she was just saying like influencers versus content creators, like the market's so saturated now, it's really hard to make money. And I was just exhausted and I mean, it's a story that we hear a lot about a lot of self-employed people of just like, I'm too tired. I don't know where my next paycheck's coming from. That's like, that stress is really intense.
Yeah.
I gotta stop. Yeah. So anyway, definitely a future episode in there. Maybe if Jenny wants to come do it with us.
Hi, listeners. Are you loving this episode? Please go share it with a friend.
And or bonus points, gold star, leave us a rate and a review for the pod. Ratings and reviews are really, 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 really helpful for all of the stunning algorithms that love small podcasts.
Yes. Help us be found by more people like you listening.
And while you're there, please subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcast. This helps us both because you'll never miss an episode and we know what we can deliver to you.
You can find us at doyoueverpod.com or you can follow us at doyoueverpod. We love you. Thank you.
Okay, back to the episode. Right, I'm just going to cast that spell out. But
we're casting spells. We've been casting spells left and right all over.
You got to, man. You got to. But today, I think this is like a good segue. Today, I want to talk to you about teenagers because I love them. And I think they're special and beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad you love teenagers too, because I say that and I get like cross-eyed looks from people, and they're like, "Ow, why?" And so
no.
I guess my question is like, do you ever feel like teenagers are special? Do you ever feel like teenagers are like perfect? Do you ever feel like teenagers are actually like, they're like kind of like toddlers to me, and that like they are saying exactly how they feel and exactly, and like I really admire and love that about them, and like I want to be more like a teenager.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's it. Like, do you ever feel like you want to be more like a teenager, your teenage self again?
I love this conversation. Yes. I say this literally all the time. I'm like, that version of myself, there was something about her that, she could move
love her.
mountains. She felt she could do so much, and she can still do so much, but what happens there, I think, is an interesting conversation. Yeah,
I think it's what happens there. And like, I feel like when I say this, sometimes people kind of think of like I'm somebody who like loved high school or something like that. But I don't know if anyone that there's a certain amount of like freedom that you have as a teenager, and but I think what's really tough about being a teenager, and I want to talk about like why we're kind of so awful to them at the same time. But like, you have so much freedom and you have all of this other shit still, and you're not quite an adult and you can't quite buy beer on your own and like all this other stuff. And you're like told you have all of this responsibility, but like no one takes you seriously at the same time. And I just think it's like, you have all this fucking shit going on in your brain that I was trying to do research on and I didn't understand any of it.
Oh, interesting.
Like, there's so much stuff going on. And I don't know. I just think we're so fucking hard on teenagers and like the shit that especially teenage girls like. In a treat for you, we're going to do more of this, but I thought we would start look at my research ended up turning into, listener, if you're not listening, if you're not watching, I have my high school diary that I have. I can't believe I still have this. Like a lot of other stuff in my life. I don't have a lot of stuff from especially that time in my life, but like other stuff because my when I moved a lot as a kid, but also my dad's house was flooded when I was like 15.
Oh wow.
And so I don't have a lot of like, I don't have like some of my toys from a kid or like pick photos and stuff like that. So I think it's really funny that like this very specific, and I like always had journals, I always kept diaries and stuff like that, but like this specific one has survived, and it's my friend Sierra's favorite. She says it's her favorite text all of the time. Like it is read
I'm
often.
so ready.
It's read often. So I thought, so I have my diary here, which is fucking killer, by the way. It starts in the year 2006 and ends in 2010. And just delicious. There's obviously a big gap in between, but there's like some good bits. I wrote very consistently like throughout the 10th grade. But I thought we would start at the beginning because as I was like researching for this episode, I was like, what is it like to be a teenager like today? And I think we put a lot of like nostalgia bias on kids. To be like, back in my day, whatever. Or like, what would, if like I could interview teenage Phoebe, what would she say? And so we're going to read more of my diary on the Patreon. So if you want to hear more of it later, includes we'll do a little teaser later, but I want to start with this diary entry because I just think I love her. I love her so much. So this entry is from August 11th, 2010. I just finished the 10th grade. I'm about to go into the 11th grade. Oh, okay. Also, hopefully I can read this handwriting. My nose is too big for my face, but I like my eyes. Mostly because they are green. Green is my favorite color. I hate the way I cry and laugh. When I cry, well, I guess there's no pretty way of crying, but there is a nice way to laugh. I also hate the way I talk. I sound like an Italian impression of a girl. What does that mean? I'm 15 and it sucks. I know that sounds cliche, which I hate, but it's true. Oh, the self-editing that happens throughout this entire thing is fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. But it's true. 14, you start high school. Everything is brand new. 16, sweet 16. You are finally considered a person. But plus, in some countries, you can drink by 16. Important.
Oh my gosh.
But 15 blows. You're stuck in the middle of this little and awesome and cruelsome. Awesome. You're stuck in the middle of this little and awesome. Too young for older guys, and you don't want to date a younger guy at 15. My parents are separated, which makes being 15 even worse. I'm tired of being responsible for my own happiness. Is that selfish to ask someone else to take that responsibility? Yes, of course. But then why do I feel like everyone else could make it better? That it would make me happy. I wish my brain would just shut up. Isn't that so special? So
I have so much to say.
I know. And there's I will say it's not always like this in here, but I just thought this varies. This is the end. This is toward the end of this kind of saga, which we will, I'm sure, chronicle. But I just think it's so when I think the self-editing is so funny, but I love the self-awareness that even being 15, the knowledge of actually, this is wildly unfair, and I do not appreciate what is going on, and I just want what I want, and I want it now, and I'm still a child, but everyone's treating me like one, and no one's treating me like one.
I love when, I don't know, I think you're reading that, and I'm like, nothing has changed.
No, I know.
Which is like,
oh, my writing is the exact same, which I think is so funny. When I was reading through it, I was like, this is my fucking Substack, so that's embarrassing.
But it's embarrassing, and then it's not embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it says something. It says something about this larger thing that we're talking about, right? Because it's we don't want to believe that a 15-year-old is cooked. Yeah. But they are. They are cooked. They are done. The turkey, you are a person, at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that about just children in general.
Yep.
Why? I don't know why you would have a child in any kind of context, either a child you're just looking after for the day, or that you've brought into this world, or you bear some sort of responsibility for, and tell it how to be.
No, that is yes, I totally agree. I totally agree.
And we do this with kids in all kinds of ways, but we really do this to teenagers, and we really try to control this thing that we're also telling at the same time to go out and get a job. And I was fucking reading this, and I was I had so many extracurriculars. I did everything at school. I did the school play. So we did the musical, and then I did the play, which are different. And then I did the Sears competition, which was the play, competitive play festival thing. And I was also in band, and then band went around and played at all the seniors' homes. I did so much stuff. And it's and then I also had a job. I had a job when I was 15. And I would walk to school, and that's too much for one person. And
No,
also
I'm exhausted.
your civics paper in between these things.
Yeah,
So it's just so I think that's what's really funny. It's like we tell these children, these teenagers, like how to be in the world or what to do. But then like tell like go do all this stuff and here but also at the same time like here's how you need to be, and here's what you need to be thinking, and here's what you need to be wearing, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's nothing worse. There's like literally like it like there like there's nothing worse, and also there's nothing better than being a teenager. Like
Yeah.
it's like both. It's like I think what I find really strange, this could go very many a place. What I find really strange is the control that we try to have over people who are literally like yes, their brains have not fully been formed. Okay, fine. But like they have gone through childhood, like the formative years of childhood, and the things that they're going to deal with on their therapist couch at 40 have already happened to them. Like we are under the impression that like I think we're under the impression that like the teenage years is when the bad painful shit happens, or like when it's like and like yes, varying degrees, people have different colors and lives, and like maybe that's true for some people, and people have different traumatic events and everything, but we treat these teenage years as these like precious
your way your nervous system relates to the world is and I don't think anything is like what's the word, like I think we're as humans like we're pretty plastic, but the way that you're going to start approaching stuff has definitely been formed, by that age.
Like it already has happened. And so this idea that we can like it's like the things we start paying attention to, I think, as child rearers, like it's like it's too late almost, right? Like it's like we start to look at those things when kids are teenagers, and it's like no, that should have happened when they were 10, or that should have happened when they like, you know what I mean? It's like like the best thing you could do for any kid, but like all I wanted when I was a teenager, and I think this is true of teenagers, is like to be seen. To be seen, to be empathized with. And that is it. Like, no, I don't need you to tell me what lessons I'm going to learn, or how to use the skills I have, or how to duh. Like, I'm going to figure that out. And in a lot of ways, those things have already been written into my story. You don't have control over that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. And I think I guess my kind of like what I find confusing in here is like, why do we have like such a lack of compassion for people at this age? Like I think of, I don't know, if somebody goes through an experience in life where like typically have empathy for them in some sort of way, right? I don't know, like standing in line at Costco, or like, airport security, or I don't know, like whatever kind of just low grade frustration is in somebody's life, we tend to listen to or whatever. And I think the way that we speak to and about teenagers' frustration and pains, even if it is low grade, even if it is, I have like I don't know, have to study for a math test, and like that is a stressful thing in somebody's life, we treat that like it is, like it's just expected of them, like, oh, get over yourself kind of thing. And I think that is so I don't understand. So I don't understand, and I was trying to attempt to understand why we kind of I don't know, lack compassion for these people that are going through really wild shit. Also, I just think the pressure to be a person at that age is so intense as well. Like I remember saying to making the decision to like not go to university right away, and I like took some time off in between, and everyone was acting like I like, and by everyone I mean like unsolicited advice from random people on the street, like when my parents would tell them what I was doing or something like that. That you at this young age, and why I didn't go is because I was a lot younger than a lot of my classmates, and so I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm too. At that age, I had the like awareness, be like, I'm actually too young to make this decision for myself, and I just want to not right now. And people had an opinion about that, and so it's like all of this pressure to like become a person, become a worker, is what it is.
Yep.
Even though I'd been working for a very long time. Anyway, and that's what I did. I just worked for a whole year at the mall. Which is a whole education on its own. But I truly, I was like, this is great motivation to not have to work at the mall again. I don't like this. But yeah, I guess like in the search of like lack of compassion. Anyway, but I was thinking about, I was like, well, it's hard to empathize with something that actually probably feels so different, because teenagers are always going to be of the now, whatever the thing is, they are a culture. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, as millennials, like we're like being pushed out of buying markets, right? Like we are not going to make up the majority of consumers that are like what brands are paying attention to. What they focus on is usually like 17 to like 25-year-olds. And so I was like, I guess it must be difficult for people to understand, to relate to what being a teenager now is, because it is so different. Not even just the time away from something, but like it's not like the music that you're listening to is any different, or the music that you're listening to is different. The like demands of you are different. I mean, I fucking think, I know this is very basic, but I think about, holy shit, having Instagram in high school sounds insane to me. Sounds insane to me. Or like access.
Did you have Facebook?
I had Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
Facebook is. Yeah, but I had Facebook when I was in middle school. Did you have Facebook in high school?
And you had MySpace.
I had MySpace. And I had MSN. MSN was the thing in my friend crowd. That's what we did after school.
MySpace. Well, yeah, like MSN, like AOL Messenger.
It was MSN, but yeah, same. Okay. Like an instant messenger.
Like AIM was in middle school, like elementary middle. And then it was MySpace, which was like middle to high, and then it was to high school, and then it was Facebook was in high school, and then like right as I was leaving is when like Instagram came on.
Yeah, like I got scene. Instagram when I think I was just leaving high school or something like that. But I think like the access, like I didn't have. I remember one of my friends getting a. Now we just are going to just sound old. Now this is just old hour.
Here we go.
I remember one of my friends getting an iPhone. I remember iPhones came out, and I don't know if you had this guy at your high school. Do you have this? I feel like every high school's got the guy that's like selling something all the time. Like he's like a little businessman. But I went to a couple different high schools, and all of these high schools had like businessmen. like the trench coat, like selling stuff. So my friend Alex,
I definitely dated that guy in high school.
Yeah, sure. So there we go. Oh, I dated that. Yeah, I dated one of them too. Of course, the little entrepreneurs. Yeah. So my friend Alex, like always had. He was like selling speakers, like he was selling, he was selling stuff all the time. He had a truck. His like truck was full of stuff. But I remember I remember iPhones coming out and think that's dumb, and then he got an iPhone and being like, "Why are you such a little businessman? Like, why do you need? Like, my dad's gonna get an iPhone. Like, why do you need?" An iPhone, right. And then getting one like a couple of years later and being like, oh, I can't wait to get an iPhone. But yeah, I had like a flip phone. I had a slidey. I had one of the slidey things. I don't remember what it was. I wanted a razor
when
so
I had
bad.
an iPhone.
I got an iPhone.
I just remember
in like 2012 or something like that. 2013
I remember
maybe.
having the original like oh my god, like the first phone that you could flip down and have like a keyboard.
I had one of those. I had a slidey thing. I really, really wanted a razor so badly.
I had a razor at one point, a pink one.
I wanted the pink razor!
But like I really wanted a sidekick and I didn't get a sidekick.
Yeah. There was another thing called, there was like a Firefly or something like that I really wanted as well. Mm-hmm.
But like I don't remember going from that phone or like going from the one I remember texting on or like even the razor to an iPhone. Like I don't know when that happened or how that happened. I'm just like I've had an iPhone in my hands since I was born. Like I don't know.
I'm sure Apple would literally love to hear that.
Literally don't remember.
I remember when I got my first iPhone. That's so funny. I memory unlocked. I used to work at Chapters, which is like a Barnes and Noble like type like chain bookstore when I was in high school, and my dad came up. I don't know why. This is just divorced parent nonsense. There's a lot of divorced parent nonsense in my journal. Just like logistics of things are always bizarre and schedules are weird. Yeah. But my dad came up to see me on my break at my probably my 15-minute break at Chapters, and we sat in the Starbucks and he gave me my birthday present and it was an iPhone. Yeah.
I feel like it had to have been something like that for me too.
Yeah.
Like a gift of some kind.
Yeah.
I literally I don't remember.
Anyway, so yeah, but I think this nostalgia thing is like kind of exactly what I'm talking about. Like this, like, I don't know what it's like to be a teenager now because my experience of being a teenager is like MSN and I think I remember I was rewatching Glee a bit ago and I remember waking up. I think Glee came out on like Wednesday nights and I would wake up early on Thursday morning so that I could download the whatever the like single was so that I could sync it to my MP3 player so that I could listen to it on my way to school. Like, and I know and I think all the time like, oh my God, whatever the show is, you would just like put that on your phone immediately from the couch now. And like, whatever, kids have it so maybe it's like kids have it so easy these days or something like that. Like you don't even have to get up early and get onto iTunes.
Yeah. Like,
but that's what I think. It's just like I have no idea what it's like because my experience of being a teenager is waking up early on Thursday mornings so that I can download the Glee song.
And I think that's like exactly it. I think that you are like, yes, I think that's exactly what it is because it's like this idea of like, oh, we've been through it. We know what it is. No,
you don't.
Like so you different. Actually don't because this person is not you. Even if they're your child, which I think is like the business that we get into as well, right? Yep. Like this person is not you. And also like they literally it's every single thing that is different. Yeah. So how could you possibly I think that's what it is. Try to begin to understand. And I also think teenagers are incredibly triggering to adults.
Oh yeah.
And it's all our problem. Like it's all us. You know what I mean? Like they're just out there living their best lives. Yeah. And it pisses us off. Yeah. And it makes us mad.
Oh, that's such a good point. Because to your point, like somebody asked me my tattoos the other day and they're like, when did you start getting tattoos? And I don't feel like it was that young. I think I got my first tattoo when I was like 19 or something. But even that like young version of myself, I love her. Like I love the version of me that just one day after school decided to go and get a tattoo. And it's the fucking Hello Kitty bow and it's very dumb and I love it so much. I want to get it touched up right now. But it's not I think like when people talk about like inner child work, I'm like, no, I want to know like what would 15-year-old Phoebe do in this situation? Because she would not fucking stand for this. Like she would not be okay.
No.
She would be crying loudly. Yes. She would be screaming at the top of the stairs. Like she would be having big feelings, big emotions. And I fucking love that. Like, I love that. I think that is so special. I think that is so beautiful. And you're totally right. That's what it is. It's totally triggering. And it's because it's
jealousy.
Because it's somebody in the room saying like, I am not okay. And I mean, I love this. What did I say? Like, I know I deserve better. Like, why do I feel this way? What could make me better? It's just so, I'm tired of being responsible for my own happiness. Like, that's just like such a big feeling.
Yeah, it is. And like, instead of going, yeah, you're right, to a teenager feeling that feeling, like, yeah, that's like, it sucks to be responsible for your own happiness.
No.
We try and like be like, I don't know, control.
Here's what you need to be doing. You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're just told you're wrong all the time. It's so upsetting.
Think really what we're talking about is how we're just reparenting ourselves. Yeah. Essentially, this is a therapy session between Phoebe and I. But I think, yes, I think about that all the time. I think about the shit that I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I had this sense of like, the idea of being invincible, the idea of nothing matters more than how I feel. Like, I need some of that sometimes in my older, like, in, you know, being older. I do. Like, I need to remind myself of like permission, the permission that I had to just be a fucking brat.
I know.
Like, I love, like, I need some of that now. Totally. And I think about like, okay, so my friend Carly. Oh, Carly.
Actually, I want to pause for a second because I think something interesting about you is that you have so many relationships in your life still of like people that you went through your teenage years with. Also, I was thinking about this too, and I was like, I guess kind of our partners included, which is weird of us. I think about it a lot.
I mean, I literally met Jack when I was 17, which is like
foul,
fucking wild and horrible. Yeah. It's like literally
like
gross.
Both of us gross. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's so funny that we were just talking about Instagram in the sense of like, so Carly and I, we used to like, we were basically bloggers but before we knew what bloggers was. If you were to go to my Facebook page right now, you would find albums and albums of Carly and I creating photo shoots, running around the neighborhood, running around where she lived, running around DC, running around like wherever, like, and putting on outfits, and Carly would take the pictures and we would style things, and I was like, and same. I was unabashed, like did not give a fuck, was just like whatever, put it all out there all the time. And now I like terrified to talk to my phone to sell my business, and I like and
pay your rent
and pay my rent. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, this is totally wild. Like, what happened? Like,
I know.
And I remember like we went to thrift stores and we made these clothes, and it was just like a creative outlet. And honestly, if we had known blogs existed, like Carly and I would be rolling in it right now. Like literally, like literally, we would be some of these like original bloggers. You know what I mean? That like never have to think about working again now.
I know.
Like that is the,
you'd be City of Likes, baby.
I would be City of Likes. Like, but not even, because I think City of Likes, like mommy influencers is almost like a new wave of influencers. I'm talking like, you know,
you would be
blogs,
pivoting
like,
into the mommy influencers.
Exactly. Exactly.
You'd be like, new guest feature.
Exactly. I'd be like, I set this whole thing up. Like all these women who like were like the originals doing this.
I think about those people. I mean, Trisha Paytas I think she's been making stuff online for like 16, 17 years or something like that. She's like 32. Like amazing. Smart.
Like these people who had blogs in the aughts, they're doing well. Like they are doing well. And if Carly and I would have done that, ooh. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh,
Instagram.
This like, oh yeah, whatever about that. My point is this just freedom to be creative, this freedom to like that's really what was special to me to have with Carly specifically. But like, I had that with like exactly a lot of other friends. Like,
so cute.
I just was like, let's be creative and let's be weird. And I'm gonna wear a hot pink flapper dress to my homecoming. And like,
oh my God.
that's, you know what I mean?
Why are we the same person? Why are we the same person?
I don't know because we are. I literally wore a hat, like had the netting and everything. No. I can't. No.
Oh my God. I can't put my headphones on with this. But I do, in fact, it's really tight on me now. Maybe it's my hair.
Oh, wow. That is like,
I think I have it on backwards.
You went real authentic. I did not go real authentic. I went like, that is like a true beauty. Wow. Oh my God.
No, I just happened to own, I bought this at an antique mall when I was 14, 15, 16, something like that.
Yep.
And I did wear it out of the house to high school regularly.
Of course you did. Yeah.
And listener, if you haven't, I don't know if Jacqueline told you, this is a 1920s flat, probably 30s, 40s. It's got a date on the inside, actually. Purple velvet flapper hat.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's gorge. I like, this is what I mean. Like, I
just wore that.
I call to her. Literally, we need to have Carly on to talk about teenagers because Carly has so much to say about this, even though Carly would never come on the podcast. There is deep. I call to her. I call to my inner teenager when I'm feeling like too scared. Because she was not scared.
She was not
She
scared.
got up on stages. She was like in musicals. She was like thinking it was just like, she was not scared. And sometimes it was like not okay how not scared she was. Sometimes she was like harming people because she wasn't scared. But
unsafe. I know. I think I also think about
herself
that.
and
others.
I
would just get in random cars.
Yeah.
And go to places that I shouldn't be going. But I do. I still admire that. I do still admire that part. It's funny you say that. I made myself a dress that I wore to some formal of some kind. That is just barely together. Just barely hanging on. I like sewed the thing, like drafted the pattern by myself. It was horrible. And now when I make myself clothing, because I still love to sew, I'm like, oh, there's like someone, and someone's like, oh, this is so nice. Like, oh, wow, I can't believe you made this. I'll be like, ugh, here's what's wrong with it. Look at this seam.
Yeah.
Look at this buttonhole. Yeah. Like, it's so funny. And I just think, like, whereas I think, I can't remember what formal it was. Probably the same age, like 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old. Maybe who's just like, yeah, I'm leaving the house in this.
Yeah,
bye.
16 or 17.
Bye.
That's amazing. I want us to go back and meet each other.
Me wearing my flapper hat, walking up to you in your flapper dress. No, if I saw that, I'd be like, why is she wearing that?
No, yeah, no,
why
I hate
am I
you.
the biggest weirdo in the room?
I would actually, I would be the same. Why am I not the biggest weirdo in the room? Exactly. That was the goal at all times. Wait, I feel like, I just had this thought that I went back. I was like 16 and I went back to my middle school and choreographed their production of A Music Man. At like 16. And I remember,
oh my God,
15, 16. Actually, I don't know. My whole
That's
childhood is a mess. And there's a lot of kids. I don't remember my whole, I don't really understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really understand. I want to say it was, I don't know. Everything is a blur. Point is that like, I think I just like did that. Like, I think I just showed up and was like, hi, music teacher from grade school. I want to do this.
Beautiful.
And there was just such like assuredness.
Beautiful. I love that.
Anyways, do we have any more entries?
So yes, I thought I would close with the beginning.
Oh, great.
But I'm gonna need some. It is okay. this might just veer into Patreon territory, and then we will pick the best one.
Great.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I don't even know if I should preface. I don't know if I need to preface any of this. I think we're just going to go. But I thought to close out, I'll read some of what's inside of the diary, and listener, you can catch the rest on our Patreon this month, because I will be reading these. I don't know what compels me to do this, but I think it's a special trove. Anyway. Okay. This is October 6th, 2009. So I've just started the 10th grade. I've decided I am, cross that out, will religiously write in this journal. So let's do a quick recap of my life. Okay. 1. And I'm going to need some fill in the blanks. Crazy about boy's name.
Adam.
Okay. Crazy about Adam. Has a girlfriend. Sigh. 2. Been flirting with another boy's name.
Peter.
Okay. Been flirting with Peter like crazy. I think I like him? ? So here's the guy situation. Adam treats me like a woman. I want to die. Today, he walked me home because he was waiting for his girlfriend to pick him up. Anyway, when he left, he slowly picked up my right hand to kiss it, like when Prince Charming kisses Cinderella. Oh my God. His lips were so soft and warm. I was surprisingly cool about it. I smiled at him and blew a kiss back and walked into my house. Okay, killer move. I should have read some of these beforehand. I'm so proud of myself. I feel like I connected so well with him. We love the same music, indie, same people. We have the same aspirations and dreams. And yet every time he says or does something, I'm surprised. Why can't he be mine? I'm in a good mood now, so I think I'll go to bed. We'll start with Peter tomorrow. Just thinking of Adam makes my heart ache and brings tears to my eyes. I've never felt like this before.
Aww.
That's so cute.
That's cute.
Okay, and then this is my friend Sierra's favorite passage, which
this is an incredible idea for a gathering. We got to get Priya Parker up in this bitch. Everyone bring your journals from when you were a teenager.
I know. It would be great. There used to be these stand-up nights in Toronto where people would bring their diaries and read them. So the scene starts November 9th. It starts a little bit further down into the entry. I can't really write. Wait, yes, I can. Okay, so this whole being in love thing. Okay, I hate this whole being in love thing sometimes. The day I knew I loved him, the day the light went on, etc., etc. We were sitting there, just the two of us, in the practice room hall. Adam started to play Follow You Into the Dark. I always liked that song, but the way he sang it was like warm butter on bread. It tasted so bittersweet. Passion-filled, this is fucking wild. Passion-filled his words, and I was fighting back tears. Now I swear that song is following me. Every time I hear it, I cry. I can remember staring at his shoes, thinking, I don't know why, but they seem so significant. I think the reason I cry is because it reminds me how much I love, how he keeps me up at night, and how he just feels every effing page of my journal. Adam is always on the mind, but he still isn't mine.
Okay.
Oh, woof.
Okay, genius behavior.
I know.
I can't write. Actually, yes, I can. And let me tell you all about it. I love how honest it is. Like, I don't think I would. Oh my God. Like, I think about this. Okay, aside, too. Mm-hmm. But, like, I remember screaming at my mom at one point about a different boyfriend, obviously. But, Mom, I love him. Mm-hmm. And being told, no, I don't. And why? Literally, why the hell do we say that to teenagers?
Because excuse me.
You clearly love him.
I love him so much. Okay.
Is this Peter or Adam?
This is Adam.
Okay.
There's much more. Jail. Go away. I cried when I first read it.
In jails.
Well, except for teenage boy jail.
That's what I mean.
Abolition in our lifetime, except for teenage boys talking to teenage girls. I remember my cousin Barb said to me once, she was like, I feel really bad for you. She's like, oh, my cousin Barb's great. She's like a couple years, a couple decades older than me. And she was saying to me once, she was like, I feel really bad for you. And I was like, why? And she's like, because teenage girls have to kiss teenage boys. And I went, why do you think I don't want to kiss any of them?
I know.
Even again, at that age, I'm like, I have an acute understanding of how horrible this situation is, and I'd like out.
I would like to go. Too emotional.
It's all too much. Anyway, more on Patreon if you want more of whatever this. There's a whole saga. It details chronicle. Maybe I should publish this. To be quite honest, it's quite incredible.
I mean, yeah, you should.
It was quite gorgeous. Anyway, well, this was an episode of some kind. I don't know. Just like listen to your inner teenager. Like what would, 15, 16, 17-year-old do? You do. And I think that person is like, I don't know, so wise. And I don't know, if you have a teenager in your life, be nice to them.
Be nice to them.
They're a whole ass human. And they have to watch the worst shows. And they're
a whole ass human. And like they have to like, grow up and deal with the shit show. So like, hello.
I know. Yeah, and they don't have like any money for movies or coffee or anything.
They have no money.
And they're just walking around.
And they're just trying to like create a little bit of joy in the woods in some photo shoots.
I know.
Just let them be.
Oh, I got really into photography when I was a teenager, as all teenagers do. And I had this, I think it was called lomography. I would do like these like crazy colorful film photo shoots, double exposure thing, quite artistic, quite incredible, quite genius, quite beautiful. So
great.
I know. Anyway.
Okay. So obviously we have to now share photos of when we were
Yes,
teenagers.
I was going to say now we have to go and find this. Oh, so cute. Okay.
I am sending Phoebe, little 15-year-old Phoebe.
I know.
So much love.
I know. Thanks.
Don't ever lose your spark, your emotions, your everything.
I know. I just love her. And it is really quite funny. It is just my fucking Substack.
That's amazing.
I know.
But like, could 15-year-old Phoebe ever think, oh, I'm going to like write this, put it on the internet, and someone's going to look at it and care?
I know. I think about that a lot. I think if I went and told her what I do, she'd be like, sick!
I know! And that, I think, is truly the only compass we should ever follow.
I know, truly. Because like I'm like, But if I went and I'm like, you've got your own apartment. I just think like even that. I'm like, you have your own apartment. You have your own desk.
You have a dog.
Oh my God, you have a dog.
You have a dog.
Yeah.
That relies on you.
You have a podcast. And she'd be like, what's that?
Yes. But like, I seriously, no, like, I think that is the call to like commit to your teenage self for sure. Yeah. Like, that's the only compass, I don't know. It's complicated.
I literally love that. Actually, Jacqueline, before we go, we have a workshop that we're hosting.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is going to come out on time and everything. Jacqueline and I, as we know, we've been talking about how to make business feel more like art. Maybe the workshop title should be how to make business feel more like being a teenager, which I think is definitely art.
Yes.
But that is on May 11th. We will put the details in the show notes below if you want to join us. It's free $99. It'll be really fun. If you want, if you want life to feel more like an abstract painting, or if you want business to feel more like the lomography double exposure film photo shoots that I would do, and we'll post those on if I can find them on the Instagram and stuff. When I went to go and find this journal at my mom's house, the amount of moldy cigarette packs that I had to go through to find this is so fucking disgusting.
Oh my god.
So whatever that means, something in there. Anyway. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Follow this chaos wherever you get your podcasts.
Our artwork is by Simon Peng. Do You Ever Feel Like is produced by Jacqueline Wills
and Phoebe Taylor. You can follow us on Instagram at doyoueverpod.
You can write to us at doyoueverpod@gmail.com. Okay, bye.